What is it that you want to do with your life? And are you where you want to be? And if not, how do you get there? And how can you make a step towards getting there every single day? All right, YouTube, good afternoon. It is Sunday, about 4 p.m. today. And this is going to be a little bit of a different video. More of a motivational talk today. Let's just put it that way. Today's going to be a little bit more of a motivational talk. And it all kind of stemmed from today's message at church. Today's message was around the topic of your days are numbered, is what the title of the message was. Or no, it was the writing of the wall, the writing on the wall. What I'm going to title this is Your Days Are Numbered. To go into the actual story of the message, it was in the book of Daniel, and we were talking about King Nebuchadnezzar's successor, which was King Belshazzar, I think it was, is how you pronounce his name. And King Belshazzar basically took over Babylon after King Nebuchadnezzar passed away. King Nebuchadnezzar had gotten overcome with his own pride, and he got chased into the wilderness, and he lived in the wilderness for a bunch of days until he passed away, basically. And so King Belshazzar took over the Babylonian kingdom. This is, I think, the first party that he had as having the throne. This was a very sort of momentous party, was what took place, right? During this party, he had a whole bunch of nobles there and all of his wives, and they got really drunk. They drank out of the chalices that came from the temple that King Nebuchadnezzar had destroyed. Then all of a sudden, this hand started writing on the wall, hence the name of the message being the writing on the wall. In that writing on the wall, the hand wrote out basically that King Belshazzar's days were numbered. And I think it's Belshazzar. I might be mispronouncing his name, but that's what I'm going to go with right now. On the wall, the hand wrote out that his days were numbered, right? That's kind of the main purpose. When Ryan was chatting about this, when he was speaking about this, he was basically talking about how our days are numbered and that we need to be, living with purpose every single day. And that got me thinking, what is it that, and this is just as much for me to talk about as it is for you guys. This is more about me talking about it than it is you guys, to be honest with you. But it kind of got me thinking, like, what is it that I want to do with my life? And I'm going to ask you guys the same question. What is it that you want to do with your life? And are you where you want to be? And if not, how do you get there? And how can you make a step towards getting there every single day? Because I can tell you right now, as much as I love my job, it is not what I want to be doing for the rest of my life. In fact, if I would venture out to say that my purpose has something to do with kids ministry and with young men's ministry, and speaking into and pouring into young men and teaching them how to go through life and learn how to go through life quicker and be more successful than I certainly was in my early 20s, and get them on the right path and get them going and teach them how to live a fulfilling, godly life, because that's what I'm learning right now. And I genuinely have a real passion for that, and I want to teach that to kids too. Like, how do you instill things like discipline and grit into young kids, into like elementary school kids, right? Like, just as a funny example, one of the kids in the ministry, one time he was feeling down about something, and I told him that if he participated in the activity, I would give him 2 tickets, which these tickets basically get used for either prizes or candy or whatever they want at the end. I told him that he would get 2 tickets if he participated in the activity, and just kept going and kept moving along. And at the end, I gave him 4 tickets because he did really well, and I didn't tell him he was going to get 4 tickets, but because sometimes, obviously, right, like, you put in the effort and you end up getting more than you want. Sometimes you end up getting not what you want. But it's about teaching that, that discipline of like, hey, okay, I just need to keep moving. This message really got me thinking, right? Like, what is it that I want to do with my life? And I think that's it, right? I think that I want to pour into young kids. I think I want to pour into young adults, teenagers, and young men, and teach them how to get moving from an early age, how to become a man from an early age, and set them up well for success. And so how do I go about doing that, right? I just launched the clothing company, as you guys saw in my last video, back on Thursday. And by the way, if you guys did support Fender, huge thank you if you guys supported Fender at all in any way, shape, or form, even if you just like to post. I appreciate you guys. I'll leave everything linked down in the description again, of course. I think that's one way is through motivational content on Fender's page and putting out clothes that remind people like, hey, I'm in this to win this, right? Like, I'm not just in this to just kind of coast through life. I'm in life because I'm here to win, and Fender represents winning and moving on bigger and better and so on and so forth. And then I think this YouTube channel can do a lot of good in that way, both by motivating you in a fitness realm, but then also ideally I want to start touching a little bit once I get to a point where I can actually speak on some of this other stuff. But like Bedros Keuilian has what he calls the 5 F-bombs, right? So faith, family, fitness, finances, and fulfillment are those 5 F-bombs. And I would love to be able to touch on a lot of that. Our days are numbered, and we only have so much time on this planet to be able to do what God put us here for. I would go on ahead and say that most of us don't know what that is, probably until we get into our 20s. I'm just figuring mine out now. And I would challenge each of you to write down, get a piece of paper out, and write down the 5 F-bombs, if you will. Faith, family, fitness, finances, and fulfillment. And I would just jot down where you want to go with each of these 5 F-bombs, and really give it some thought. Like, it took me a whole weekend to kind of figure out where I really wanted to go. And then write down afterwards where it is that you're at now. And then I would jot down some steps that you can take to get to where you want to go in each of those categories based upon where you're at now. Because every single day, we need to have the throttle on full blast, 1 step per day. I want you guys to give me 1 step per day on something that you're working on. And I'm gonna do this too. If it's just one little tiny thing that you can work on every single day to get you towards your goals, do it. Because if you just work on one thing per day, that's 365 things per year that you did to go towards your goal. It's a lot of stuff that you went and did over just 1 year. And you've probably made a ton of progress within that 1 year just by doing one thing a day. I would strongly push you guys, challenge you guys to go and do this and figure out for yourselves what it is you guys want to do with your life, where you're at right now, how you're going to get there, and then just lay out a map. Lay out a map and stick to it, because that's what I'm doing right now. Obviously, I say this partially to keep myself motivated as well, being that I'm so early on in this journey. But it would be awesome if I was able to get a bunch of you guys to kind of go through this as well at the same time as me as I'm going through it, because this is what I want to do. This is where I see my purpose going into pouring into kids, into young adults, teenagers, boys, men, people that are going to be shaping the future of this country and of this planet, and teaching them how to be men, because I'm learning right now, and I would be stupid if I didn't try and share this with other people, considering where this current generation is at right now. That's my challenge for you guys today, is figure out what you want in life, figure out where you're at right now, and figure out how you can get to where you want to go based upon where you're at. And figure out 1 step that you can do every single day. Write it down first thing in the morning. It doesn't have to be the first thing that you do, but just write it down first thing in the morning, what you can do every single day, just one thing, and make progress, because our days are numbered.